RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, what's going on? How we doing, everybody? All right, we're going to have a good show tonight. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I really can. You know why? Because I'm like, I'm annoyed. I could feel it. I actually feel it in my stomach more than my bones, right? You have that feeling? Do you share that with me? I'd have to move the mic. Sorry about that. It might be annoying in your ears. Yeah, no, I have this perpetual knot in my stomach that won't go away. It gets worse by the day. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna last. I guess I'm gonna have to talk to my doctor about upping my blood pressure medicine. Right? Yeah. Something to say about Nancy Mace, says Jim on the chat. Yeah, she's a horrible, disgusting waste of human DNA. But that's who they are. And of course they always, bring hate to a situation. They never bring light and love and understanding. And is that true, Ed? I heard Rob Reiner checked into a mental hospital. Is that true? Oh, I don't know. Let's look it up. Is that true? Well, how would we know? Unless, I guess the press would leak it. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Is that true? Wow. Rob Reiner, well, that could be a spoof. It's from a not too reputable website. It says, yeah, you can't really trust any. That's why I always have to do like triple checks of shit. Yeah, no, I don't know about that. Says he's checking himself into a facility. Daily Wire? What is that? Isn't that a maggot paper or whatever? Not paper, website. Yeah, this platform is vile, racist, and evil. He's checking into a facility to find peace. Well, he says he's checking into a facility to find peace and relaxation after he left X for Blue Sky. He might have just been being facetious about it because, yeah, X, whatever it is, Twitter, Traitor Trump's another propaganda outlet run by Manchild, well, not just Manchild Musk, President Manchild Musk. He's, yeah, it is racist and vile and evil. All you got to do is spend 5 minutes on there and you see. But all right, before we keep going nuts. What? JD? I'm going to go nuts. Mamma mia. Thank you, JD. And I wish everybody would follow in JD's footsteps and take JD's example for his incredibly generous donation on PayPal. Thank you so much, JD. You're almost, I'm like blushing here. Thank you, JD, for keeping the show going and growing. And you don't even live in this fucking country. So, Americans, get a hint here, because this is the liberal media. And it's getting worse by the minute, by the day, by the second. And I also want to thank Charlie from APS Radio News before I go any further, because he's another one that keeps the show going and growing. Him and JD and the patrons at patreon.com/Tara Devlin, and Jim, who always comes with the super chat right out of the gate. I hear you. It's okay. Jim says, I'm too poor to be in JD's level. I know. Many of us are. This is liberal. We are liberals. We don't have big billionaire benefactors. And maybe this is a good place to begin, because I'm sure you all heard about MSNBC spinning off and, Comcast selling MSNBC. Not selling them. Well, it's being bundled into other Comcast properties, right? Along with, I think it's not just they're gonna spin off their MSNBC, CNBC, their news brands, and also what else do they have? I didn't prepare this. Let's see. MSNBC, MSNBC. Let's see what it says. Yeah, spinoff announced. It's called they're calling it spinoff company temporarily. Comcast has announced plans to spin off MSNBC or NBC Universal Cable Networks, including MSNBC, CNBC, USA Oxygen, Sci-Fi, and the Golf Channel. This decision reflects a strategic shift. Comcast recognizes the challenges posed by declining cable television market and rising costs of streaming services. The spinoff is expected to be completed in about a year and is valued at approximately $7 billion. An impact on MSNBC. Once spun off, MSNBC will no longer have a corporate connection to NBC News. This raises questions about branding and operational structure, meaning that they won't be able to share resources, assets, news gathering, news producers who do their programming. And I'm not sure if you're aware, you could see a lot of crossover. If you watch NBC News, sometimes they'll run packages on MSNBC. So there's a lot of cross-pollination between the networks. And there is a speculation that MSNBC may need to change its name since it will be separated. Okay, yeah, and the whole thing is very concerning, especially given the fact that today, not sure if you saw, Manchild Musk and Traitor Tot, Donald Trump Jr., were on X, Twitter, whatever the hell, whatever, the Nazi cesspool, and saying, joking that Elon Musk should buy MSNBC. He said, how much it cost? How much it cost? Fuck you, okay? I'm sorry. This is a salty language show. It's going to be, I need to do a disclaimer in the beginning. This show has salty language. How much it cost? Elon Musk replied, and ex-Twitter users could not keep their calm. Buddha. She's under my feet. Asking about the cost, and then, it went viral. A conversation between Traitor Tot and Manchild Musk went viral on Friday as users could not keep their calm. What are they not keeping their calm over? And are they cheering this? Here, let's look at, what the hell? Here we go. Look at this. So, hey, Elon Musk, I have the funniest idea ever, because this other maggot channel here. Oh, wait, can you see me or hear me? Am I still going out there in TV land? I don't see myself. Picture in picture. This is all annoying and new. Picture in picture. There we go. You guys tell me. How we doing? I'm still being heard, right? Okay. And thank you, Ed the Second, for your super chat. Yeah, there's the packing our bags, right? Oh, God. Well, this is an example of why there should be no billionaires. That's the bottom line. And why the fact that there are billionaires, billionaires are anathema to a functioning democracy. And what's really irritating me is that who's celebrating this? Elon should just buy it and fire Joy Reid. Any chance Elon buys it and turns it into a real news outlet? So these are the maggots cheering the end of liberal democracy. You understand? That's what they're talking about. And I posted a rebuttal. Give us an well, here's what because this Wall Street Mav account is a maggot account. And it says Comcast is putting MSNBC up for sale. CNN just announced massive layoffs coming, maybe the new owners will figure out that lying nonstop to your audience is a lousy business model. You get it, guys? We are living, or not we, we're living in the real world. They're living in an alternate reality. Okay? And I want to stress this. It's because of the fact that we have a, the media deregulation. This is what brought us here. I could really, if I could go back in time and slap that pen out of Bill Clinton's hand signing the Telecommunications Act of 96, I certainly would do it. If I had one wish, right? If you could do something, if you go back in time and change the course of history in one way, that would be it. Because we wouldn't be here at this point. Hold on. We wouldn't be fighting fascism now. We wouldn't have a traitor Trump. We would have a better society. I guarantee it. Because I'm going to play some more clips tonight, and we'll have the receipts of the fact that maggots are living in an alternate reality where Traitor Trump is some kind of hero who can do no wrong, and the big bad deep state wanted to take him down. For what reason, I have no idea. Right? All he wanted to do was make America great. That's what I always ask the maggots, but they never have an answer. What's the end game here? What is George Soros's end game? What really? I mean, I know what Manchild Musk's end game is. It is to be, the world's first trillionaire and own the United States and have more money than anybody else could ever spend in 10,000 lifetimes. While the rest of us scrape and struggle and fight over the scraps and fight about bathrooms and look at people's pee-pees in the bathroom. Who you got the appropriate pee-pee in the appropriate bathroom? Like, where we fight over bullshit. For all to please Elon effing Musk, this horrible narcissist, this evil, disgusting, fake genius who just like Traitor Trump, the only thing he ever had going for him is that he was handed a giant lump of money that he parlayed into being what, I guess his marketing strategy, being positioned as some fucking genius that he's not. He's not a genius. I mean, how many times I got to say this? I even heard it tonight on MSNBC. One of their guests was like, well, Elon Musk, he may be a genius and an innovator. He's none of those things. He's a grifter, like Traitor Trump. Just like Traitor Trump, everything he touches, he diminishes. I mean, what is the meaning of an economy for the first, just in the first place, right? Because, Elon Musk is... Buddha, stop that. She's scratching the couch. Elon Musk is promising mass layoffs. I think I played this. You remember this?
There's a lot of government headcount, but we're going to give, I think, like very long severances, like 2 years or something like that. So, look, just go do something else. Is what
go do something else. Go
And
fuck off. Go kill yourself. Right? Go do something else. Go die. Go do something else. We're gonna give you what a smooth operator. I can't. I've never met someone or God with such charisma. This man.
Get paid for 2 years, So you got a lot of time to go and figure out something else to do. It's like the point is not to be cruel or to,
while they're laying people off, mass layoffs. I mean, that's what these fuckers are promising. And this is why it's so irritating that the average maggot is so easily played. There's such but only because of the propaganda channels. that they are consuming, that we are inflicted with. For real. You know, I mean, because what would he do if, and of course, here's the thing, if he did end up buying whatever this spin-off company is, what would he do? He'd just fire like half the staff right out of the gate, because that's all he ever does. He's a piece of dirt, this man. He's not in it for anybody else but himself. He's a freaking narcissist. Exactly. JD on the chat says, good luck if you're 40 years old. I agree. I was actually thinking tonight, thank God. I mean, I felt bad for the people who are coming up now. You know, I unfortunately was born on the wrong side of Reaganomics. You know, but at least I didn't have to spend the bulk of my life struggling and scraping in this maggot bizarro world with these fucking billionaires, with these idiots. Think that billionaires, if they just beg them enough, they're going to trickle on them, and they'll just keep them in the catbird seat of power. I mean, these people like worship Elon Musk for whatever reason, when Elon Musk would turn them into freaking Soylent Green if he could. He hates them, just like Trump hates the maggots. You are nothing to him. You are just a means to an end. That's why they can. I mean, how do you have respect for anybody who you stand up in front of and say, oh, yeah, you know, we're just going to have to fire everybody, but don't worry. We're going to give you, like 2 years severance, even though, I guess, take a number because of all the class action lawsuits happening right now from the people he already owes severance packages to that he promised, sort of like Traitor Trump and all the people that he stiffed along the way. You know, such a great man of the people. Just never found his, in his big heart for the working man and woman maggot. He could never find it in his heart to pay them because they're suckers. But he sure found it in his heart to, sell them magic beans, the trinkets and the baubles and the dum-dum bullshit with his face on it that these idiots consume. And, don't you have any shame? But if you had shame, you wouldn't be a maggot. You wouldn't be sucked in. You would know the game. You would understand that you're being played by the oldest tricks in the book. And what pisses me off is how these maggots don't see it, and they're coming out as they've always presented themselves as the patriots. Oh, we're patriots, waving the flag. They hate this country, and I'm sorry, I keep, it's not simply being hyperbolic and saying, or, inflammatory language. It's not. They hate everything about this country. That's why they position themselves as what they do is they position the pillars of democracy, or they present the pillars of democracy to their maggots via the propaganda outlets bought and paid for by the likes of Manchild Musk and all these other billionaires that fund their propaganda outlets, alongside the what's his name? Putin. I mean, these people are literally consuming propaganda from the bowels of the Kremlin, being these pundits, these influencers that are being paid right out of the Kremlin, for God's sakes. Right? It's like, what? And you think you're a patriot. And they attack the pillars of democracy, anything that actually will hold them accountable, like the Justice Department, the FBI, the notion of equal protection under the law, or no one is above the law. Not anymore. Not anymore. Thanks to these fucking Supreme Court monsters, also bought and paid for by billionaires. These people have no honor. They have no integrity, no honor, no decency. This is Tara Devlin. I'm trying to calm down. Why am I drinking coffee at 9 o'clock at night? But, you know, I need to breathe a little bit. Well, a lot. I need to keep breathing in and out. Calm down, Devlin. Calm down. No, I can't calm down. I'm sorry. I'm talking to myself now. I can't calm down. This is not normal, and none of us should calm down. This is for real. They're not kidding around, because it's not just, if we were only fighting the maggots on the periphery, right? See, I'm trying to do my part for this country that I served in uniform, that I unfortunately was born in, because my grandmother left Ireland. I don't know why. But she left because it was a different time. FDR, we had Franklin Roosevelt. Things were looking up. So, okay. But now, would she ever foresee to have such a disgusting waste of human DNA, such a con man and a maggot, a disgust? I don't even want to call him a pig, because pigs are good. They're charming, intelligent creatures, for God's sakes. Unlike Traitor Trump and Manchild Musk, these horrible, horrible people. I mean, if you're in league with the most horrible people, come on, man, get a grip, get a clue, right? But this is why they have to. It's like Bizarro world. That's the thing. We're living in Bizarro world, where the pillars of democracy are the enemies of democracy, standing in the way of democracy. This is according to the maggots. And it's not just coming from, the right-wing equivalent of Tarabuster, right? On the D list of the media outlets or whatever. It's coming from Fox News. It's coming from the halls of Congress. They're reading this bullshit into the congressional record. And I don't know how we can ever recover from it when we're up against such monstrous, disloyal, dishonorable maggots who hate democracy. They've always hated it. Some of them have come right out and said it. Like, I don't know why the mainstream media, right? I mean, we know that half of the media is bought by billionaires, and we're living in the consequences of that. But I don't know why the Democrats, for example, and I wish, Joe Biden, Harris, any other Democrat that had a microphone, why wouldn't they say, for example, that J.D. Vance is funded, his whole political career, and before, he was bought and paid for by Peter Thiel, or whatever, Thiel, who cares? You know who I'm talking about. A billionaire who openly disdains democracy. Okay? Why wouldn't they constantly talk about that? Huh? Anybody? It boggles my mind. I'm not like some communications genius here. I do have a communications degree, but whatever. I don't think that the Democrats, I don't know, why wouldn't you take the truth and tell the people, like, what the hell are you hiding it for? Why are you not saying it? Why? For God's sakes. Why wouldn't you tell, or, on the VP debate? Walls. Why wouldn't he say, well, I'm just a working class person. I don't have a big billionaire benefactor funding me like you do. Peter Thiel is your, basically owns you. He's funded your entire career, and which concerns me, because he's somebody that openly disdains democracy. And here, I have the quote right here. He said, "I no longer believe democracy is the best form of government." It's something along those lines. And I'm wondering what you think about that. And why would you take money from somebody who openly disdains the system of government that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us, that we all took an oath, when we wore the uniform and then when we served in government office, we took an oath to the Constitution to defend that form of government, that system of government. But, why would you take money from somebody that hates democracy? I don't know. Well, I don't know why the Democrats don't do these things, but, it's left to me, Tarabuster, for God's sakes, and JD and Jim and Haiku and APS Radio News, Charlie's APS Radio News. I mean, this is what we got. And Twisted Nerves Painting and Commander Bomb, like it's Ed the Second. We're this is it. We got to fight this alone. And the Democrats, what do? They'll send a strongly worded email. God damn it. Oh God, I gotta calm down. I keep hearing my aunt's voice in my head going, "You gotta calm down, Tara." I feel bad for her because she's been hearing it a lot because I call her up. And I'm like, did you see her, what that baboon did? And then, what really got me is because she said to me that her friend Audrey, okay, she's like, I ran into Audrey, and Audrey said she didn't vote, okay? She's a registered Democrat. She didn't vote. And I said, why? And she said that Audrey said that she didn't like any of them. Both, she didn't like either candidate. Yeah, I could see why you wouldn't vote. One's a convicted felon, convicted rapist, tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man whose longest running chief of staff had a fundamental disdain for American values and is fascist to the core, and his other members of his cabinet also agreed with that. And also one of his Secretary of State, his first Secretary of State, said in front of foreign dignitaries that he's a fucking idiot, and who sent a mob to defecate and urinate in the halls of the Capitol and beat cops. And then he called up the Secretary of State of Georgia and said, I just want you to find me the votes to win. And, you raped E. Jean Carroll, and held classified documents in his shitter and moved them to the, moved them all around, trying to hide them from the FBI, and lies and lies and lies about the election, tearing people apart, telling the dumbasses in this country that immigrants are eating cats and dogs. I get it. And the other one said something different about fracking 2 years ago. I can see how I just don't like either of them. So fuck you. And I said to my aunt, and I know it must be hard on her because, she remembers me as a little baby. Holding me as a little baby. When I was didn't know anything about Republicans. I was happy. And I'm like, well, you could tell Audrey that I said that she's a dumb bitch. And that she doesn't have any moral high ground saying that, I don't like either of them. I hope she's happy with fascism, but what does she give a shit? She's in the last fucking, who knows? I mean, she's not like a spring chicken. She ain't, not that I'm a spring chicken, but she's, been around a bit longer than me. But, this whole moral high ground of, I didn't vote. I don't like either of them. Well, why? Why? That's why whenever you ask these assholes about if you get, this is why. Okay. Shh. All the voices, not the voice. all the words want to come out of my mouth at the same time. So, this is why when you ask anybody, just if I was there with my aunt and we ran into Audrey and she was like, I don't like either of them. I would have said, well, why? Explain. Guess what? She would have nothing. She would have nothing. I don't like her. I just don't like her. What is it that you don't like, Audrey? You know? What is it? Oh, you just don't like a woman? Is that it? That's part of it, too. You see, some of the women, and especially older, in the older generations, they don't, they think the same way that these regressive maggots think. Oh, I don't know. And they think that berating and disparaging a woman in politics or running for office is somehow makes them more, I guess, fair, or it gets them like a patriarchal pat on the head, and they feel like that they're being truly objective, right? That's what it seems to me. Hold on a second, please, if you will. This is Tara Devlin of Tarabuster. Welcome back, everybody. I'm trying to be good. Fuck. So, right? Right? Am I wrong or am I right? I know. I don't know. I'm right. I think I'm right. It sucks to be right. I wish I was wrong. I wish that, we weren't living in Bizarro world where people who have a fundamental disdain for American values weren't pretending to be the savior of the American people. What a joke. All right, okay. So like I was saying with Manchild Musk wanting to buy Twitter, he already bought Twitter, MSNBC. Here's the tweet. Comcast is putting MSNBC up for sale. CNN just announced massive layoffs. Well, they love that. They love when anyone gets fired. So that's who maggots are. And maybe the new owners will figure out that lying nonstop to your audience is a lousy business model. What lies? What lies? And that's what I wrote. Okay, give us an example of the lies. But they never do. They never give us an example. That's part of the tactics of fascism. And it happens in the media a lot, too. They'll just throw shit out there. They won't explain it. Like, the whole time when we were having to endure the run-up to the election, which will start again soon, right? It'll start. You going to run for president? You running for president? That's the only question that so-called journalists ask. Are you going to run for president? I got something to ask you. Are you like anyone who comes on their show? Nothing about, I don't know, saving America from the Fourth Reich, right? From the Nazis marching in the streets of Ohio, but okay. Or the fact that we're living in freaking Bizarro world. The other thing is that the mainstream media, talk about sane-washing, they sane-wash the maggots as if they have an actual sincere grievance. When you listen to them, they're living in an unreal world. They live in the world where immigrants are eating cats and dogs. For real. They think this. They really do. They live in the world where kids are being dropped off at school and as a little boy, and then a little girl shows up a couple hours later. The bell rings at 3 p.m. and you go to pick up your little Johnny, and out comes Janie. That's what they think. They think there's a massive problem with trans people. That's their big complaint. I'm saving. My vote is to save America from the less than 1% of the population, where that maggots spend all their time vilifying and destroying and attacking, because they're such good Christians. You see. Who would Jesus hang out with if he came back? I wonder, right? You think he'd hang out with Traitor Trump? Or would he hang out with the oppressed, the misunderstood, the persecuted, right? The underdog. No, right, exactly. If Jesus came back, maggots would crucify him again. He was crucified by maggots. I mean, the earlier form of the maggots back in the day, 2,000 years ago, he was crucified by conservatives who were getting in the way of the money. That's what happened. He was getting in the way of their money. Because there was we've talked about this before. That's why they went to the governor, the Roman authorities, and said, "You got to do something about this guy. He's cutting in on our grift. You know, these people, they're coming here for this religious holiday, and they're not paying for our ritual baths. And what are we going to do? You know, that's our bread and butter here. And it's also, we're not going to be able to pay our taxes to the glorious Roman autocracy if Jesus has his way." He's telling these people that they don't need the priests and the rabbis getting in that they're already pure. But that's why he was crucified. It's always about the money, though, right? Especially with conservatives. And then they, you know, it's all, and just even now, what if Jesus came back and saw what they've done to his church? God. Talk about flipping the tables in the temple, right? It would be, I would like to see that, actually. I really would. Let me see. Where was I? Here it is. Yeah. So I wrote, while we're waiting for something that you don't have and will never come, I'm talking about giving us an example of all the lies on MSNBC. If they're so prevalent, it shouldn't be a problem or a bother to post a couple of them. I mean, I got a whole goddamn dictionary, an encyclopedia of lies on Fox News and that the maggots consume every day. Yeah, so I said, let's recall that Fox News was hit with the largest fine in media history for lying to its viewers. Another thing that makes me crazy that Democrats don't bring up. Why don't they bring this up all the time? Right? Of course. It's like they don't want to, win? Maybe? I don't know. And then the other thing was, and studies show that people who watch Fox News are less informed than those who watch no news at all. And I followed it up with the perplexity screen grab because I asked the damn AI and double checked it, of course, but we know this is true. Fox News settled a landmark defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems for $787 million. But that was actually because they appealed the decision. The original fine, and this happens a lot with in any lawsuit, it usually gets adjusted. But they were fined $2 billion originally. That was the damages that Dominion sued for, and that's what they got. But, you know, $787 million ain't chump change either. It ain't Elon Musk money, but yeah, so the settlement came just before the trial was to begin. We also know that Fox News has been taken to court numerous times, one with Tuckio Rose, and they argued that no reasonable viewer would take Tuckio Rose seriously, that he's an entertainer. I don't know. He's an anger-tainer, right? It's anger-tainment. It's not, it doesn't do anything for society except destroy it. This is why I hate these people too, like people like Tuckio Rose and Manchild Musk, because there they are, born on third base, thinking they hit a triple, and bringing what to the dumbasses who had a garbage, whose father was a garbage man and mother was a former nun / postal worker, right? What do they bring? What do they do for the people who they share this blip of time with? They don't care. You know, it's such an abomination. It's so grotesque that an Elon Musk exists in the form it does right now, meaning the richest person on earth. He's on track, and Jeff Bezos and the rest of them, the Koch brothers, or one is dead, but, well, one is burning in hell, excuse me. And who else? The Mercer family, these pricks. They're always so evil, too. Who's the one? The Sacklers. Oh, those are the ones that turned West Virginia into, an opioid disaster zone, killing how many Americans? But none of them went to jail. None of them had to pay. I mean, they did have to pay a fine, but who? To who? They're still walking free. What do they care? They got their money. They're not living in a one-bedroom apartment in Queens. You know what I mean? These people, it's like the different rules. This country was supposed to be an antidote to that. Promote the general welfare. Not the welfare of the aristocracy, the monarchy, the elites, all the pals of the monarch. That's why it's called an experiment. Nothing like it before. Well, they're similar, let's say, but for a long ass time. And here we are on the precipice of losing it. Thanks to, the same old forces. Evil bastards. The evil of greed. The big moneyed interest, as FDR called them. Economic royalists. And for the fact that Musk and, Donald Trump, Traitor Tot, whatever, Traitor Tot Jr., he's Traitor Tot, joking around about, you should buy MSNBC or you should buy this is very concerning, but that, like I said, it's more concerning that maggots, that the people in the comment thread think this is a good idea. That's how stupefied they've been made by the propaganda outlets that feed their angertainment. What else do they get out of it? It's baffling to me. What do they get? They get to hate. They get to hate others. They get to hate trans people. They get to misgender trans people. They get to hate gays and pretend they're Christian too, right? They get to pretend that this ancient socialist hippie who walked around giving free health care to people and food and such, who had compassion, who said that it would be easier for a rich man to get through, or however he put it, to go through the eye of a needle than get into heaven, meaning it's impossible. That if you were really Christian, that you would give up all your wealth and follow him. And his expressed instructions are disregarded constantly, but as a matter of course. They shouldn't call themselves Christians, really, because they should just make up some other sky spook to worship. Right? They should, because whatever this Christ that they're worshiping has no bearance in any form, no resemblance to the Jesus they pretend to worship. It's so goddamn irritating and tedious. that you got to keep pointing it out. But okay, so while we're what I was going to say is basically, there should be no billionaires, and it's very concerning that maggots don't seem to understand that. They don't seem to get that as Justice Louis Brandeis said, we have a choice. We can either have democracy or concentrated wealth in the hands of a few, but we can't have both. They don't seem to get that. They think that as long as you have a billionaire benefactor that agrees with your hate, that hates the same things you do, that is just as triggered by trans people as you are, that hates others, that doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. And that's who these people are. They'd rather throw out, they don't give a shit. They never cared. All the stories about women bleeding out in parking lots of hospitals, what do they care? They're not bleeding out in a parking lot, right? That's why one of those maggot Republicans was like, oh, why should any woman over 50 care about abortion? They're not going to get pregnant. Which spoke volumes to me. Once again, it was an illustration that Republicans, they are fundamentally and pathologically selfish, that they only see the light when something affects them directly. Yeah, why should you care? Why should we care? Because I want to live in a country where women don't bleed out in parking lots, okay? I want to live in a country where people who are sick get health care. And they're not simply looked upon as a vessel for a fetus that Republicans could disparage and neglect once it's born. Could not give a shit, right? They love the fetus. They hate the fetus too. They hate the fetus. They hate the child. They hate the toddler, the adolescent, the prepubescent, the teenager, the young adult, the older person, and the elderly. They hate the entire spectrum. Please, if only they were all the things they purport to be, for real. I wish they were Christian. I swear to God, I do. I wish they cared about babies. For God's sakes, we wouldn't be living in a country with this abominable infant mortality rate, which is higher than it was before Roe fell. So, and so is the abortion rate in the country. Do I have to? This is another thing that the Democrats annoy me about. I keep bringing up the Democrats because I want them to hear it. I want them to fight like they are on the right side of history, and they are. But you got to be, claim that mantle of patriotism. Reclaim it. We're carrying the mantle of the founders. Although, and all their flaws, there were a lot of very inspiring promises in our founding documents and ideals that we should live up to, shouldn't we? E pluribus unum sounds pretty goddamn socialist to me, out of many one. Ugh. I thought that out of many one. No, it should be the many for the one, right? What's the Latin for that? The many for the one. Because that's the country they're dragging us back to. And it's really heartbreaking. I do feel bad for younger people coming up. That they have to, and I really do feel bad for those younger people who have a clue, too. And then another one, of course, thinking of so many things. Like somebody said to me, and wait, hold on. I got my computer. So a friend of mine, we were talking after the election. My friend who is a sometime listener of Maggot Radio, I guess. I don't know. I told you about him many times. He's gay, and he listens to Maggot Radio. He gets a lot of, like, erroneous ideas that I have to, you know, get in there and fucking sweep out of his head. It's goddamn ridiculous. What's no puedo respirar? What's that mean? What does that mean? Is that a mean? What does it mean? What does that? I'm looking it up. What does that mean? Somebody's. Oh, deep difficulty breathing. I thought so. Okay. Jorge. Is it Jorge or George? Jorge, I guess, since you're speaking Spanish, right? Okay. I'm talking to somebody on the chat. Okay, for those in the audio only. It's hard to keep up, I know. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so my friend, because he was saying, yeah. Okay, after the election. Oh, yes, George Floyd. I can't breathe. Exactly. I'm sorry about that. Yes, takes me a minute. Sorry about that, guys, on the chat. So after the election, well, which I was happy to hear, or relieved, because I didn't want to ask, that he didn't vote for the traitor. And so, you know, Traitor Trump. And so I was relieved to hear that. But he was saying things like, you know, about student loan forgiveness. And he was like, well, you had to pay off your student loan, as if, like, I should be mad that others had their loans forgiven or reduced. And, you know, and then I was like, it's just such a small and very selfish way to look at anything. You know, we're in this together. So why should I be like, oh, you should pay your student loan off because I paid my student loan. And that's what, if you listened to the corporate media, they would always put that out there. Oh, it's just a basic fairness issue. Is it really? So you should always be, what, an enslaved person because somebody else was enslaved in your family? Or you should always be, we should never have anything. We should never have Social Security because the generations prior didn't have it. They had to starve, right? Because the number one cause of death for the elderly before Social Security was hypothermia in the winter and malnutrition all year long. Oh, God. Hold on. This is Tara Devlin. And, yeah, so we should never take a leap forward. And I said, how the hell, what would, I mean, I want to live in a country where the kids or young people or people who get an education can get established, that they can go and they don't have to come out as indentured servants to banksters. That's how you make America great. You pay for, you invest. Let's put it that way. You invest in the future by educating the populace. And this is part of the reason, and well, it's one of the main, because it's greed and the destruction of democracy, why maggots, Republicans, Traitor Trump, and all the minions, they go after education. Oh, you can't do any worse. We're going to bring it back to the states, right? Destroy the Department of Education. Bring it back to the states because Traitor Trump says you can't do any worse. Fuck you, you know? F you, Traitor Trump. Really? You can't do any worse? Well, maybe because with you, I don't want to know how worse we can do with you. But you can't do any worse? Like all these maggots who can go on to the internet and write their poorly spelled, I must say. But, you know, you got to put a little effort into the education. Teachers can't do it for you. You got to be intellectually curious. You got to do your homework. Unlike Traitor Trump, who paid people to take his tests and all that. That's why he's a dullard. He just wants to have the degree on the wall. They don't want to work for it. That's the truth. So, just like, I don't want to live in a country where people are nothing but hosts from which to suck profit and discard. For Elon Musk, for God's sakes. And happy birthday, Jonathan, on the chat. Happy birthday! I'm screaming. Yeah. So, let's see. Well, anyway, there should be no billionaires, is the point. Billionaires are a symptom of a sick system, and this is why we're up against the ropes now. Democracy is hanging by a thread, and they're coming for the full Monty. You get it? They're going for broke. Talking about dismantling the administrative state. What they mean is democracy. The administrative state. Let me play something, actually. A video that I saw that gave me a knot in my stomach. If I have to have a knot in my stomach, I'm going to share it. Share it with you guys. And if you, while I'm getting the video, please become a patron. Patreon.com/TaraDevil. Keep the show going and growing. This is the time. Because this is the liberal media. I hate to tell you. I know, right? I hate to tell you. I wish I had a billionaire benefactor. I really, really do. Where is it? Okay, Stuart Varney. Let's listen to... You want to talk about Bizarro world? Living in an upside-down world? This is where we live. We're living... We're in the normal... We see normal things, right? We're living in reality where Traitor Trump is a con man with a fake university, a vitamin scam, a serial bankrupt who raped E. Jean Carroll as adjudicated by a jury of Americans, grand jury and a jury. Same thing with the felonies, and, we all witnessed with our own eyes the mob trashing the Capitol, chanting "Hang Mike Pence" and all that, bear spray, cattle prods, zip ties, beating people with the shields, and shoot him with his own gun, and blah, 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 right? We know that wasn't a day of love. We're normal. We have eyes, and although we are humans and we have our faults, we, are not knee-jerk reactionaries against anything that's different, right? Because that's the nature of life. What makes life worth living? Just the fucking routine every day? Or the incredible diversity of Earth and, what we can learn? What we can see, explore. I don't know. Why are you so small, traders? But anyway, I mean Republicans or Trumpansies. Here's Stuart Varney talking about the Trump transition to, staining the White House again.
This is definitely not a normal transition from one administration to another. Anything but. President-elect Trump has a deep distrust of the federal government. He remembers how he was treated last time around. He called it the deep state.
Can you believe this shit? Listen to this. This is opposite land. He remembers how he was treated last time. He called it the deep state. How the fuck were you treated? Maybe if you stopped being a traitor and stopped, trying to use taxpayer money as your own personal... what do you call it? Extortion fund? Maybe if you weren't such a threat and danger to national security, like just blabbing out, tweeting out classified information. In the Oval Office, he just spewed out this classified, the tweet was another thing that he tweeted. And then all the corporate media had to sane-wash it and say that, well, the minute that the so-called president tweets something out, it's no longer classified Because he can go booga, booga, booga and unclassify anything. And like Traitor Trump said, he can unclassify things just by thinking about it. So we should all be able to read his mind. And God knows, I wouldn't want to go there without a flashlight and a gun and backup, right? Legally and peacefully. But so the deep state is after Traitor Trump. That's why he's not following the decorum or the traditions of a seamless transition. Well, he didn't do it the last time because he lost and he's not man enough to respect the peaceful transfer of power. And he wouldn't give Joe Biden or the team any access to anything. So they not only were the Democrats behind, they had to catch up then. Even though, let's not forget that Traitor Trump left office with the worst jobs record since Herbert Hoover, but I know how maggots recall it as the magical dreamland of utopia they lived in at the time. I guess because maybe they like it, because they like, you gotta wonder, they must like when Americans are needlessly dying, right? Because that's what was happening. They must like when Americans are screaming at each other in a store about their freedom, wearing a mask, a piece of cloth over their face in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. They must like the million dead, the mass graves. They gotta, I guess, because they recall that time so fondly when everything, when the first responders were wearing garbage bags and Traitor Trump was sending COVID testing machines to his master Putin, while here in America he sent broken down old junk to hospitals. That's the truth, goddammit. Hold on. This is Tara Devlin. All right, see you in a minute. So here's Bizarro World. This is why we're in this boat. Because listen to this. This is what these maggots are listening to. They listen. This is Fox Business. Okay? Stuart Varney just catapulting the propaganda.
Which deliberately undermined his administration. He's not forgiven and he's not forgotten.
What?
Federal agencies have been...
How did they undermine? Okay, I'll let it go.
Cut right out of the transition process. The transition team is not cooperating with the General Services Administration, which is supposed to be in charge of the handover. Trump doesn't trust them. Remember, they shared documents from 2016 with the Mueller investigation.
Yeah, bitch. Because he's a fucking... They were doing their job, God damn it. They were investigating the traitor Trump because he had so many Russian spies flying around him like flies on shit.
Of the Russia hoax. Trump doesn't trust that.
Listen to this shit.
He doesn't trust the FBI.
Russia hoax.
Trump doesn't trust them. Remember, they shared documents from 2016 with the Mueller investigation of the Russia hoax. Trump doesn't trust that.
Trump doesn't trust. Let me remind everybody that it was not a hoax, okay? The Russia hoax? A lot of people went to jail for a hoax. And no matter how many times they say it, this is why we're living in Bizarro world. Well, they're in Bizarro world, but we all have to live there, I guess, because it's unbelievable. And it makes me wonder, am I alone here, having to set these maggots straight? I don't know. The Russia hoax, it's no hoax. How come every time one of these maggots talk about Russia hoax, even on the floor of Congress, they say Russia hoax, Russia hoax? The Democrats never respond. They never say, before I begin, it's not a hoax, but Traitor Trump knows how to just repeat the lie, and it will become the truth to the MAGAs. The fact is, he here's the facts about the so-called Russia hoax, which isn't a hoax. U.S., once again, I know I have to repeat. U.S. intelligence agencies concluded, the 17 U.S. intelligence agencies, including, there was a Senate report with the Republicans. The Republicans were involved, and it was 50-50. It doesn't matter, but this is how we roll now. U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that Russia conducted a covert operation to influence the 2016 election, aiming to benefit Trump. This is in a Senate report. All you got to do is Google it, Stuart Varney. But he knows that. He knows that. But he knows also that the people who he's talking to are easily led, and that they are looking for any excuse to vote for somebody as hateful as they are, and therefore their own demise. Vote for their own demise. It's true. And their children's demise, and their country's demise, because they just don't like sharing with brown people or trans people or other people. They want a Christian fascist state where everyone knows their place, and the dear leader saves them from all the scary world of others who don't know their place. That's it. Democracy is scary to them. People read books that they don't like. They don't all believe in Jesus. Well, I argue that the maggots don't believe in Jesus. They really don't. If you want to get technical, we got the receipts. We have the things that Jesus says, and then you have the maggots, who they like to say they're doing it in the name of Jesus, but Jesus came back, he flipped their tables over. That's for sure. They listen to nothing that Jesus says. So this assessment is supported by bipartisan investigations talking about that Russia conducted a covert operation to influence the 2016 election to benefit Trump, not to benefit Democrats, because Trump is a puppet. Trump is a traitor. He is a danger to America. He's the best gift that Putin could ever wish for. And the maggots wrapped him all up in a nice little bow and gave him to the authoritarians and the Nazis and everyone who wants to destroy democracy and diversity and freedom. So funny enough, though, there are plenty of these Christo-fascists. They want to destroy freedom. That's it. As we see, you're not free to be yourself. You're not free to not worship a sky spook. You're not free to live an authentic life. Well, you're free only in the constraints and confines that they lay out for you in fascism. If you fit into that mold, well, bully for you. But most people, that's why you will never see, and if I'm wrong, please correct me on the chat, show me a successful right-wing government where people are happy. Where people are, it's just a dreamland. I know when, in the early days of the Third Reich, right, when the Nazis hosted the Olympics, they invited everyone, and everyone was on their best behavior. Tone it down with the Jew bashing, and don't say anything about the camps and blah blah blah. And it all looked very nice and orderly, and everyone was so patriotic. But scratch that surface, and you'll see, the real disease of whatever that is, the orderly. You think that's what you want? Well, I mean, a lot of them did. That's what's so scary. And we see it repeating itself here. History is repeating itself, because how many of these maggots, they wouldn't care. their neighbors disappeared in the night. That's what happened in the Nazi Germany. Yeah, they're like, oh great, a job just opened up. They all know. They all knew. They saw first it was the re-education camps, the labor camps, right? And then they saw the slave labor. And then they saw the trains. They knew. Where the hell were people going? Oh, they're being relocated to Madagascar, right? That was God help us. It's fucking Nazis. These goddamn fascists. And now they're marching in the streets of America. When you have inspired Nazis and emboldened Nazis, I mean, that's why the next day when Traitor Trump was elected, by a very slim margin, not a mandate, maggots. I don't care how many times you repeat it. We're going to go over it. Next day, black people in this country were getting texts, personalized texts, to report to their whatever plantation. What a disgusting way to be, right? That's what you do with your limited lifespan. Oh, God, these people. That's your boy. That's what you inspire. You're not inspiring, let's help each other. Let's, we're all Americans here. Please. Yes, so Traitor Trump, there is no Russia hoax. Russia interfered in the 2016 election to benefit Trump. The assessment is supported by bipartisan investigations, including findings from the Senate Intelligence Committee and Special Counsel Robert Mueller, which documented extensive contacts between Traitor Trump associates and Russian officials. And the Durham report, released in 2023, has been cited by Trump and his supporters to argue that the investigation was unfounded. However, right? Always a however. Legal analysts emphasize that this report did not discredit the fundamental conclusions of the Russia investigation, but that doesn't matter. See, they knew that the maggots would not read the Russia report or even the Durham report, so-called report. They needed it. It's like when Traitor Trump tried to use taxpayer money to extort an investigation, the announcing of an investigation against his political rival, extorting Ukraine with the money that the representatives had already voted to give Ukraine, because the Congress holds the purse strings, not the dear leader. That's the way the founders, if you're a patriot, you kind of know that. The founders set it up like that, so the dear leader can't be a king. You got to go to Congress for the money. Oh, we'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin, unapologetic liberal talk. Become a patron, do all that. Okay. Yeah, so but they counted on the maggots, not reading, just listening. The repetition of the lie. Russia hoax, Russia hoax. We accept you. We accept the google gobble. Google. Have you seen my latest NFT? Google gobble. How about the guitar? He just had a signed guitar. How about a watch that doesn't exist? How about an NFT? How about some Trump bucks? Bum bum bum. Bing, bing, bing. Limited edition. Bum bing bing. I mean, like, fucking disgusting. Disgraceful. Yeah, let's see. Continued disinformation. The narrative framing the Russia investigation as a hoax aligns with broader disinformation strategies often employed by Russian state media. These strategies include creating an alternative narrative that downplays or denies factual events, thereby influencing public perception. And that's what we see here. Russia hoax. This whole thing. Listen, here we go.
Doesn't trust the FBI, so there've been no background checks of nominees. He's said to resent bitterly the Justice Department for the Mar-a-Lago raid and for the lawfare waged against him.
There's no fucking raid. There's no lawfare. It's like saying lawfare against Alphonse Capone. You know how Traitor Trump loves to talk about Alphonse Capone, like he likes to talk about the penis size of men he admires. Alphonse Capone, you know, the great gangster. It's like saying the FBI was engaged in lawfare against Al goddamn Capone. Lawfare. Well, maybe stop being a criminal. Stop, trying to steal the election. Stop lying about, the election. Stop calling up the Secretary of State of Georgia and saying, I need you to find me the votes to win. Come on. We all heard it when he's like, come on, give me a break here. I only need 11,000 votes. What's the big deal? There's nothing wrong with saying you recalculated. He even told him. He gave him the lie. But the guy wasn't as corruptible as the ones that are there now that are dealing with him now, because that's the only thing. This is what happens in fascism. Expertise is replaced by loyalty, and that's the only thing that matters. Loyalty to the dear leader.
He doesn't trust the State Department, which was leaking like a sieve in his first administration.
Yeah, because he was lying, and people couldn't believe their eyes or their ears. Because, Traitor Trump doesn't understand that he's not a king. That there's a equal, supposedly co-equal branches of government. That's why when he was on the phone with Putin, there were people monitoring it. And Lieutenant Vindman, or what was he? I can't remember his rank. Not lieutenant. He was Colonel Vindman. He heard Traitor Trump say, I need you to do me a favor, though. Announce. You don't even have to do the investigation. Announce an investigation against Joe Biden. I need you to do me a favor, though. And that's why it was reported. Yes, Colonel Vindman. And he did his job. Anybody who does their job is a problem in a fascist authoritarian takeover. But can you believe this? This piece of propaganda that this fucker read on the air. Stuart Varney.
In the press of his phone conversations with the President of Mexico and the Prime Minister of Australia, deliberately undermining him.
Undermining? Because he's a goddamn baboon. He undermines himself. And if there are... don't you think we have the goddamn right to hear what the goddamn baboon is doing in our behalf? Oh, we're not supposed to know? We're just the American people. Well, we're dumbasses. Just buy this NFT, suckers. Oh, it's going to be great. It's a beautiful world now coming. I wonder how many millions he'll kill this time.
Time around, when he took calls from the French and the Saudis,
Unreal.
the president-elect used his own interpreters. Therefore, there's no official transcript. Therefore, no leaks possible.
Fuck you. And that's not a problem? He's talking to the Saudis with his own interpreters and no transcripts. Pig. You filthy pigs. You filthy fascist pigs. And I'm sorry, I'm letting loose on pigs inadvertently. Because pigs are good. Not like this. Wow. And you think that's a good idea. But that's what is happening. This is the bizarro world. The cuckoo land where a traitor who couldn't pass a background check because he's a goddamn Putin puppet and a dumbass to boot. And a con man and a grifter that won't stop grifting. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment to this country. Then this propagandist freak over here is telling the dumbasses who believe him that don't react to this. They react to it like, yeah. Not like me having a goddamn conniption, hearing all these filthy lies. But they think that it's a good idea for the traitor, the con man who couldn't pass a background check, who we know all of his crimes. Okay, the convicted felon, the convicted rapist, and on top of it, a traitor who sent the mob to the Capitol, keeps lying about the election, that he's using his own interpreters, talking to the Saudis, so there's no transcript. How fucking dare you? Could you imagine? Okay, play the game. That's how you know that this is bullshit and it's bizarro world. If that was Obama, if that was Biden, using his own interpreters and not producing a transcript, what would this pig Stuart Varney do?
And you can tell the depth of his anger by the men and women he's appointed to run federal
the
agencies.
Clowns.
Whoa, it's slash and burn at the Justice Department with Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. It's deep Pentagon reform with Pete Hegseth as Defense Secretary. Former wrestling executive Linda McMahon will completely realign the Education Department. And Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, whoa, they will chop anything and everywhere they can.
Fuck
no
you.
delays, please. Trump wants his appointees installed during a Senate recess, meaning no lengthy and possibly embarrassing confirmation hearings.
Embarrassing.
One aide to the president-elect
Possibly
says
embarrassing.
Trump is conducting a hostile takeover on behalf of the American people, and so it is. Trump is doing what he said he would do. Things are going to be very different.
Things are going to be very different, and that's how you normalize the end of America. Things will be very different, but you'll love it. You'll love when, what? I don't know, you lose your job. I hope all these maggots lose their jobs. See, this is the only saving grace is that, I mean, I just want them to see the light, because they never see the light unless something affects them directly. So when the sting of the lash of the traitor falls upon their shoulders, we're going to hear a lot of whining and crying. That's for sure. Oh, God. And I have another video. I see that we're going to lose the Progressive Voices audience in a minute. So, but I want to tell Progressive Voices, thank you for listening. And please, come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster to hear the rest of the show. Because we're going to play some maggots who are upset that they are losing their friends. Who, they have some normal people who are friends, and the normal people are like, look, that's it. You voted for Trump. I can't deal. I'm out. And they're all crying about it. And I really have one that is kind of emblematic of their delusion and the fact that they live in Bizarro world. What the hell is going on? Oh, here it is. I was going to say, like, where's the music? Listen, guys. Thank you, Charlie, from APS Radio News, for always being at the barricades with this show and keeping the show going and growing and keeping my emotional, I don't know, my despair at a minimum. It means a lot. It really does. Because we will win. And thank you, JD, for your donation to the show, as always. And Jim and Ed for your super chats and all that. And the patrons, patreon.com/TaraDevil. And this is the time, if you can. This is the liberal media. I know, I should be more enthused, but keep it going. See you soon. What's this in my hair? Like a fuzz. Look at my hair. I need a new hair. I wish Booty was laying there, don't you? I put her there earlier. I needed her as an emotional support. Where? Junior's... I know. Uh-oh, here he comes. Here he comes. He's coming over. No! I'm sorry. Come here. Come here. Oh no, where you think you're going? Where you think you're going, buddy? No, you can't stay up here. There's no room for you. There's no room. Just stay right there. Hey, stay. Hey, I need that hand. Look at him. He's so bossy. What a bossy. What a bossy boss. All right. Do some stretches. All right, listen. Let's play that lady. Because I need to go off on her. Let's see. Losing friends over MAGA? Lots of maggots are upset. Seems this is a growing phenomenon. Many people are breaking their ties with their MAGA voting friends. Let's admit it, they are a cult. This is from Daily Kos by Frank Van Walton. He writes, let's see. The economy is doing great. Unemployment is down. The GDP is great. The stock market is great. The deficit came down by the greatest amount in history. Okay? This is Joe Biden's economy. And still people think it's not enough. It's not good enough. How can you do better than the greatest improvement in history? Watch it all go away. Okay? Because that's what Republicans do. Democrats clean up their messes, and then Republicans come back in and they fuck it up again. This is the circle. They keep saying, oh, the pendulum swings back and forth. That's the pendulum. If they only reported the truth on the mainstream media, for real. And we've done it before. I've shown the receipts that the economy does better under Democrats. That's for all. That's just the goddamn reality. I mean, not me talking here. Does better under Democrats. It's just math. Yeah. Job creation, investment and income distribution. Business investment is stronger during Democratic terms. Investment growth more than double of Republican administrations. Income growth for families in the bottom 20%, which is a lot of us, is reported to be 188% faster, growing faster than in MAGA and Republican administrations, highlighting a more equitable distribution of income gains, which Republicans hate because they can't get away with autocracy. Autocracy is the aim here. Oligarchy, like Putin has. That's why they love Putin so much. He presides over an oligarchy. Inflation and unemployment. Average inflation rates are lower under Democrats. Unemployment rates are lower under Democrats. For instance, the average Democratic term has been associated with fewer recessions compared to Republicans. The historical data compiled since 1949 shows that the U.S. economy has performed better under Democratic presidents across various metrics, including GDP growth, job creation, income distribution. It's just unreal. Despite these findings, listen, public opinion often doesn't align with the data. Why? Because of everything I'm saying. Because of the propaganda. Because of catapulting the propaganda. And then you have the fascist media talking about, oh, everything sucks. And then you have the corporate media. They echo it. They don't correct the misperception. How many times when this build up to the election, the up in the polls, down in the polls, And they say, well, perception, people feel the economy sucks. People feel. And was it ever followed up with, well, fact is, not only is the economy good, the economy does better under Democrats, but people don't feel it. Well, maybe if you stop repeating the lies and start repeating the facts, the feelings might cut through. And maybe with reporting the truth, you could also point out that Fox News makes its viewers less informed than those who watch no news at all, and that they were fined the largest fine in media history for, well, I think also American history, for lying to its viewers. I mean, you could say that because it is true. I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Jonathan, you're spamming the goddamn chat, I think. Be good. Be good. I appreciate it. But I see a lot of boom, boom, boom. You can't do that. Chill out. Chill out. Take a breath. Take a breath. Okay, like that. All right, hold on a second. Where is it? I'm trying to find that video. Beep bop booty doo. Just singing. Just singing. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Wait. She's gonna like drive you up a tree.
I am super sad. And let me tell you why. Today, someone I considered a very dear friend, someone I thought would be a lifelong friend, has decided that we cannot be friends because of my vote. To vote red, to vote conservative, to vote for Trump. She felt as though my vote was a vote against her and against women of color and not understanding the repression that they face.
Not understanding.
Here's the thing.
Oh, here's the thing. I understand repression, but I just ease into it. I've learned to love my oppressors. I learned to just parrot the lines of the oppressors, and I get that patriarchal pat on the head now and then. I tell my hubby that, yes, sir, white men are the most persecuted of all, and straight white men most of all. And yes, I don't know how you can do it, being so victimized by the world. No one gets it. What it's like to have to like move over a little bit and give others a seat at the table. I know it feels like oppression when you've had every seat at the table, and then you got to give a seat up, can you? Or even just squeeze over a little bit so somebody else can squeeze on in. But I say, yes, hubby, they're not meant to be leaders. Women are meant to be like Adam's rib. And that's how I get I have no shame in my game. I've become, I just learned to love my chains and not see anything. All I do is worry about myself and my hubby. If my hubby's okay, I'm okay. If he's, and of course he's a MAGA too. He hates brown people too, but I have this friend who's brown, but I don't care. I stand by my vote. See, they think that she thinks she's a good person because she had a black friend, but won't listen to why maybe it's not normal. This is not just a matter of disagreement. Now, voting for a fascist is really a bridge too far. I don't know. That's how I feel. It's a betrayal on so many levels. It tells you, it really is a mark of how either the person is dumb, easily led, right? Or racist. There has to be a lot of that. Because you can't escape what that whole campaign was. It's not immigrants are not eating cats and dogs, but Nazis are marching in the street because of the lies. They feel emboldened. What about everybody else? Like, what about women? This lady, she thinks that she's going to escape if something happens to her. Like if she gets pregnant and the primary cause of death for women for centuries since we crawled out of the ooze was childbirth. You think lots of shit can happen in a pregnancy, and it often does. People have miscarriages and things go awry. If she gets pregnant, I hope she's one of the lucky ones. But then you got to go and bleed out in the parking lot or flee to another state. For now, because they're going to try to do the whole, that's it. They are going for a national abortion ban. Okay, well, let's continue with her.
This lady. I dearly love her.
No, you don't.
And I never thought
you're a dumbass.
that would be her reaction. We've always had political conversations. We've talked about this.
It's not politics. It's decency. It's so much more. It's a fundamental personality flaw. It's a personality cult. And it's a hateful one. It's a hate-mongering death cult of lies. For a con man. It's incredible. Yes, and JD on the chat, it says, JD says, it shows how effective propaganda is. It really does. It's, this for me, I agree. It is a betrayal. It's a betrayal, not just me as a gay person. It's a betrayal of humanity, of the founders. It's a betrayal of everyone who ever died for democracy. It's a betrayal. I feel horrible about every grave I see, from the Civil War to World War II, to anyone who ever put on the uniform and unfortunately died for this country. What a betrayal. How dare you? How dare you vote for a filthy fascist who has a fundamental disdain for democracy, for American values, who lies? How dare you vote for a con man who sent a mob of traitors to beat cops and try to stop the peaceful transfer of power? How dare you? How dare you put that baboon and his wrecking crew, his greed-centered wrecking crew, and Elon Manchild Musk, this unelected scumbag, in the halls of power? How dare you? It's disgusting. It speaks volumes about you. It's really true. You are either a victim of propaganda or a willing, complicit participant.
Things. We worked together for many years, and I thought that we were above it. I knew we had differences, but I thought we respected each other's differences, but apparently we don't.
This is not a
difference. So I did not vote against you, my friend.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I did not vote against you. See, they want their cake and eat it too. Why can't I talk? They want to have their cake and eat it too. That's what they want. They want to be able to vote for the maggot. They want to be a hateful maggot, right? They want to go to a Nuremberg rally and laugh at immigrants and migrants and downtrodden and misgender people and hate gays and pretend to love Jesus. They want to have all of that. They want to be able to laugh at all the ethnic jokes, right? But they don't want any consequences. And this is what it's all about. That's why they're after, the woke, being canceled. We had to hear this, how fucking long, about being canceled. Well, you're being canceled. What are you canceled? What did you do? Nobody cancels you for no reason. It's usually something racist and stupid. You said something racist. You said something horrible, misogynist. You revealed yourself to be a horrible racist in some form. It's usually racism. Or, it's always attacking a minority group. And I'm being canceled. For no reason? It's not about your views. This is the other thing. They always present it as, it's just politics. It's just my political differences. It's just my political stance. Like, it's just my stance. I hate others. I hate certain groups of people. It's just my politics. I think others don't deserve the same equal protection under the law. So, and I want to target certain minority groups because they're eating the dogs and the cats. Right? And Mexicans are rapists, but some of them are good people. Maybe. That's what you're voting for. That's what you voted for. And you want to be able to be like, oh, hi, friend. You're my friend, right? We've always had political differences. It's like having a political difference with a Jew, a Nazi who hates Jewish people, right? That's what it's like. Oh, it's just our political differences. I just think that Jews are, the enemies of the people. It's just that. I just think that Jews are the eternal Jew. You know what I mean, right? This is the political difference. Can't we get along? This is what this bitch wants. She's talking about, how, I just think that, Democrats are evil, and I think they are, what else did that fucker say? They're the enemies from within, and they're degenerates. That's all. That's just a political thing that I have. And I always thought we could get along.
I vote against you, my friend.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. The woman, see, you know how arrogant that is, too? Right there. It's just, they're so unreachable. Blockheads. I did not vote against you, my friend. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You voted against everybody. In fact, you voted against yourself. You're just too dumb or something. You're too propagandized, I'll put it nicely, to realize it. Or racist, because that's how they get them. They get them in, they hook into the racist funny bone, and then they poison the rest of the body, with the lies. The lies just spread out. And then they're just vomiting all this bullshit like billionaires are the best. And they're going to save us from the woke. If only, God bless Elon Musk for saving us from the woke. Woke! What the fuck is the woke? It's, you know what it is? It's the same old PC. They don't like having to treat people with decency and dignity. That's all it is. That's what woke is. What's woke? See, they took a term that originated in the black community. Of course it did. Of course they took that term and turned it into something nasty. Because ultimately, that's the message. Being black is being nasty, being different, having darker pigment. That's nasty. You're down. But you better get down, I wish I had the clip of Ayanna Pressley today, because maggots, they're all, running around in the House of Horrors now, the House of Representatives, and they're passing things about, DEI, stopping, because there is no racism, but there is, and then in the same paragraph, they mentioned something about reverse racism. And Ayanna Presley points out, well, I don't know what you're talking about, because right here you talk about there is no racism, but 5 sentences later, you say there's reverse racism is the biggest problem. So how can there be racism, no racism, but there's reverse racism? What are you reversing? See, that's where they live. Reverse racism means, white people they have to scoot over a little at the table. And they don't want to do that. And they don't want to treat people with dignity and decency. That's it. They want to be able to misgender, like Perjury Trader Green. And what's that other? Nancy Mace, that horrible, horrible waste of human DNA, as they all are. It's incredible. Horrible people. Awful, awful people pretending that they're the victims of those, of everybody else who are just trying to make a more perfect union, like get along, live up to the promises in our founding documents. We, e pluribus unum, we're in this together. A nation of immigrants. Leave no one behind. The general welfare. What's the general welfare? Well, they don't like that. It's not just the welfare of the white people. It's incredible. Listen, it gets worse. It gets worse.
So I did not vote against you, my friend.
Yes, you did.
I love you.
No, you don't.
I will continue to love you from afar, but I will not have a relationship with you after the words that you said to me.
See, what's so funny here is the cognitive dissonance, too, because apparently the woman's friend said, look, I can't be your friend because I'm done with you because I can't. You are this Trumpanzee. How can I ever trust you? It's really true. How dare they? Think about it. It would be like someone who voted for Hitler telling their Jewish friend, why can't we get along? What's the big deal? We have some differences. We always got through it before. Not before you voted for a baboon that completely dehumanizes me and everyone and sets Nazis off into the streets and inspires those who send texts to people that said, get in your plantation, come back to the plantation, your report to Section B. Fuckers, these fuckers. Why? I did not vote against you. But listen to what she justifies her vote. See, they have to pretend they're good people. They're not. You're not. You're not a good person, lady. Something's off. Yeah. Maybe you think you are, but think about it. Think about what you've done. Good people do good things. Not all the time. Yeah, we make mistakes. Maybe you're bamboozled, but you cannot deny the racist campaign that was run. So there's no getting around it anymore. You're a complicit co-conspirator in the racist, disgusting future ahead of us. I love Trump. He tells it like it is. No, honey, he tells it like it was. And that's why he wants to go back there, where everybody knew their place. It was the best. Unbelievable.
Today.
I see. I love, so the friend, says, I can't be your friend. Now she's like, because she has to get some of her power back, I guess, saying, I cannot be your friend. No, honey, I think she broke up with you first, so.
That you said to me
I wish
today.
I knew. What? What did she say?
But let me tell you this.
She
I
told you
stand
you're
by my vote.
She told you what a deplorable racist you are, and that's the other thing. Yeah, you're deplorable. She's probably one of those, like, yeah, proud deplorable, proud homophobe, proud racist, proud Islamophobe, proud phobe of anything that's not me. Pigs. God damn it. I mean, I love pigs. They're good people. It's really true.
But let me tell you this. I stand by my vote.
How dare you?
I stand by my vote because it's a vote to protect souls that have yet to be born into this world, babies.
Oh my God.
I stand by my vote because it's...
See what I'm saying? Propaganda works. No, honey. And I went on this lady's TikTok to put a comment. She turned the comments off. I guess this one went viral. And no, honey, because I wanted to post that, excuse me, the abortion rate is up in the country, as it is under all Republican presidencies, and the abortion rate goes down under Democratic administrations. I mean, that's just it's so annoying to me how this is not common knowledge. But then again, propaganda works, and I guess the Democrats are, for some reason, they never toot their own horns. They never feel the need to clarify all the misconceptions, all the lies, right? Uh-oh, here's Tara Jr. What the hell, man? I'm sorry. You can't. Oh, shit. Just sit here. He's going to sit on the goddamn keyboard.
The vote to protect children from being disfigured and demantled for the name of gender.
Fuck you! Who's doing that, you dumb bitch? Do you see this? Do you hear this? It's like this is what they think they voted on. All the conspiracy theories and lies funneled and shoveled into their empty heads by a con man. I voted for the babies that will yet to be born, even though abortions are up in the country, and all that criminalizing abortion does is send women to back alleys to die and cause more trauma. And the fact is that the Republicans do fuck all for babies, for pregnant women, for pregnant anybody. We don't have a goddamn day off. We have no maternity leave in the country, but you love those babies, don't you? You love them. And we don't have, universal health care. The infant mortality rate in the country is up after the fall of Roe. So, all these, and in fact, it's the worst state for, as far as abortion care is concerned, is Texas. And Texas has the worst infant mortality rate. They have the worst prenatal care. So, you're not voting for babies, honey. You're voting to kill babies, really. You're voting to starve them, to make them stupid, to make them vote Republican. Incredible. And I'm sure your poor, long-suffering friend she simply had enough. She can't get through to the blockhead. She probably tried to talk to you and set you straight with the facts, but you were too magnified or whatever. Too much. You're listening to Stuart Varney. You're listening to Manchild Musk. I bet you applauded when he said he was going to fire millions of people. And no, don't worry, they'll all get severance for 2 years and go figure something else out. Like jump off a bridge. Son of a bitch. I hate these people legally and peacefully. I really do. You know what I mean? Because it's very difficult to, fight legally and peacefully with a group of people who have no tether to the facts. That's the problem. You know, you could fight them on the field of ideas. I wish you could squarely and fairly fight them legally and peacefully on the field of ideas, right? And then you make your case and see who people vote for. That's what you hope. But that's not what's happening here. These people are being manipulated, propagandized, duped. They're being, all their little vulnerabilities are being exploited. Gender, they're chopped up in the name of gender. What do you know? Do you know any family that has a trans child, with a child is born and all of a sudden, you don't know what it's like? A lot of people don't know because it's a very rare thing. You know, it's like less than 1% of the population or whatever when trans people in general. But as far as families who are trying to help their trans child, that is none of your fucking business. She knows nothing about it, but she wants to say, I'm gonna step in here with my stupid and make sure that a family does what I want them to do when I have no clue. And by the way, there's no chopping up of genitals happening to children. That's another lie that these people have no clue about. Just keep lying, you know, as Goebbels said, make it a big one, make it a good one, keep repeating it. By its mere outrageousness, outlandishness, will make it more believable. Yeah, so who, you know, your traitor con man, tax cheating dupes who wants to sell you a fucking guitar for $10,000, signed by the pig himself, by the baboon, by the chief baboon. All for the name, all for what? Because he cares about you. He cares about you, right? He and Elon Musk, they're sitting around going, how are we going to make the maggots like this lady here who lost her friend only because she wanted to make America great again? And her friend just doesn't like America. She hates America, you see. No, you hate America. You know what? You let like a cancer cell loose in the body politic. That's what you did. In the name of... But I wish he had something real. You know what I mean? That's what's so astonishing. Wouldn't it be great if they were... I want taxes. No taxes on the rich.
I stand by my vote because it protects my children from
what?
boys
You?
and girls sports.
Oh my God.
And hurt that they could get from that.
The hurt. Boys and girls sports. That's why she voted to send her country down the goddamn toilet. That's why she put a baboon. She voted for the baboon who said that immigrants are eating dogs and cats. The one who is, a traitor, who has a fundamental disdain for American values, who's a fundamental fascist to the core. The one who's stood over the graves of fallen soldiers with a big shit-eating grin and a thumbs up. Because for nothing, for a lie. You stupid goddamn... I mean, this is what they're going to study. You understand? The future generations? Nice to see you. Lucky you. I had to live in this time. God. And the future, they're going to look back and go, oh my God, these people. They really they believe that? Or did they tell themselves that? No, they believed it. They believed it. Because you make it big enough, make it stupid enough, and they will believe it. Repeat it enough. These are the people. They actually think that a con man with a fake university and a fake multi-level marketing vitamin scam is a good businessman, even though he was a serial bankrupt, had to be put on an allowance by the banks. But we will win. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. And thank you, Jonathan. And JD. And Jim and Ed. And patrons. Thank you, patrons. Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. See, I'm gonna finish this video. We have to ban men and women's sports. This is not even a thing. How? Let me look this up here. Let's see. I'm going to ask the AI. Is there a big... All right, Junior. Fuck off. Legally and peacefully. Big problem with men. All right. You're getting on my nerves. Sit down. Sit down. Jesus Christ. I need to cut your nails. In women's sports, as the maggots say, okay. It's a debate. Let's see. How many... I just want to find out, like, how many so-called men in women's sports. Beep, 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 beep. It's just such one of these things that they exploit. Just like the Nazis did. I'm sorry. Come on. Get a grip, lady. You should be ashamed of yourself. It is a rarity. Professional transgender women athletes are extremely rare. Despite being allowed to compete openly in the Olympics since 2003, no trans athlete has ever qualified for the Olympics. This indicates a low level of participation at the highest competitive levels. While specific numbers for trans athletes across all levels are not well documented, a study from Minnesota found that about 3% of high school students identifies transgender or gender nonconforming. This suggests that while there may be some participation, it is not widespread. Though public perception has led to a significant public discourse. See, it's nothing. It is just a red herring. It's red meat for the monsters to chew on and dehumanize people. You know, what is wrong with trans kids competing or, playing in the fucking Little League, where the hell? Oh, and there are others. I think Robin was talking about this, Robin Kincaid, that there are actually girls competing in all over in high school, girls competing in football, girls playing football in high school, girls playing. But, you got to ask. It's like the whole thing when we talk about what is the meaning of life. What is the meaning of an economy, right? What is the meaning of sports in high school? Is it to foster good sportsmanship, teamwork, healthy competition, learning how to win gracefully, lose gracefully, team spirit? That's what you would think, right? And what better way to foster that than allowing someone who might be a little different to compete, to play on the team? You're with us, right? Yeah, that's the point. Not them. They want trans kids to feel like shit. Right? That's what they want. They want trans kids to kill themselves, as they did in his record numbers. And maybe you'll have a kid and you don't know that they're trans because you're a maggot, and maybe one day you'll find them dead. And you won't know why. Because they never disclosed to you, because they were so afraid of being rejected. Because you're such good Christians. Let's keep going with this lady.
Trauma they could get from that. I stand by my vote because it'll affect the economy.
Let me go back a little bit, because she said the trauma that can happen when trans kids play sports or something. What did she say?
My children from boys and girls sports, and hurt that they could get from that, the trauma they could get from that.
Not the trauma that a trans kid might get, right? The one on the outside, the minority, the oppressed and misunderstood. But the trauma that her little precious future maggot that she's trying to mold into a maggot, a good little lickspittle, good little authoritarian follower lickspittle, they're gonna be upset by having to be around somebody who might be different. And what do you care? Not that you will teach them to be a good kid and be a good and loving, open and compassionate person that accepts people regardless of pee-pee, right? You don't know that. Are you going to see their pee-pees? What do you care? Shut up. Leave people alone. Let people live, right? No. You got to be like the way she wants you to be, because that might hurt the kid. Her kid might feel weird wondering about the pee-pees of all their teammates. Really? It's like, what is the meaning of life? And thank you, JD. JD says a beautiful argument for trans inclusion in sports. It's true, especially when you're not talking about the Olympics here. You're talking about Little League, Pee-wee football. What is this? It's not that goddamn NFL. You're teaching kids. What are you teaching them? To be exclusionary and horrible, and to be the horrible person in the movie, right? That's what they're growing up to be. The bully, the one who, the bullies who beat up the little guys. God, my kids will be affected. Fuck you and your kids. Your poor kids. I feel bad for them. We should send. CPS should take a visit here. But that's what they're upset about. Woke and being canceled for hating. It's my Christian duty to hate, though. My Jesus told me. I don't listen to that other woke Jesus, that fairy, the one who said, turn the other cheek. Where's that gotten us? That's what Donald Trump Jr. told us. Now my Lord and Savior is Traitor Trump. Donald Trump Jr. said, all that turn the other cheek stuff. Where's that ever gotten us? Right? And I'm tired of all this church and state separation junk. They hate everything about America and the Jesus they pretend to worship, don't they? tired of it. I'm tired of the teachings of Jesus, right? I'm tired of the very things that, the very instructions that came out of his mouth. All right.
Of gender. I stand by my vote because it protects my children from boys and girls sports.
Oh, you dumb.
And hurt that they could get from that. The trauma they could get from that.
The trauma they can get by having to hang out with somebody who's different and play a game when they should be beating them in the lunchroom, kicking their ass, spitting on them, right? Just like your Jesus told you.
I stand by my vote because it'll affect the economy. Everybody was living better under Trump. You know that, and I know that. So, my friend, I'm so sorry.
How dare you? No, bitch. Again, living in Bizarro world. That's what I'm talking about. The economy. Yeah, everybody was living better under Trump, except the ones who got fired thanks to the worst jobs record since Herbert goddamn Hoover in the Great Depression. The first Republican Great Depression. Everybody was living better. No, they weren't. They were living better because Traitor Trump, in the beginning, Traitor Trump was handed an economy that was going like this. It was going up, up, because of Obama's policies, Democratic policies, just like we read. The economy does better under Democrats. And then Traitor Trump passed his tax giveaway to the oligarchs that he's fostering and creating, and the intergenerational aristocracy they're rebuilding to destroy democracy once and for all. And it started to get to, the jobs rate started to go down. And then the pandemic hit, which wasn't Traitor Trump's fault, right? But he botched it like he botches everything because he sucks. He's a con man. He's a grifter. He should be out there selling watches and NFTs and all kinds of magic beans. He should not be the president. If you had any decency, you would know that. Or intelligence. I mean, there's a lack of like fundamental, basic, decent qualities in these people. Like I have said it for years, you need a level of maturity to function in a free democratic society. And these people just don't have it. That's why they're always like their heroes are these overgrown man children who call people fat pigs, right? Oh, isn't that funny? The so-called president called somebody a fat pig. Ha ha ha! Horse face. Not pretty enough to rape. She stands by her vote, though, huh? Shame on her.
To lose you as my friend, and I loved you very much. But I will not sacrifice my beliefs for one relationship. I love you no matter your color.
Bullshit.
I love you no matter how you voted.
No, you don't.
But I will not be talked to that way.
Well, you know what? You were talked to that way, and she slammed the door. So whatever, you can try to reclaim some of whatever you think you're reclaiming here, but that's a done deal. She beat you to the punch. And you will not, what did she say here?
Or your color.
Oh,
I love you.
She loves her and her color.
Beliefs for one relationship. I love you.
She's not going to change her beliefs for one relationship. Well, then I'm sorry, you're too far gone. You're lost. You're racist. You're horrible. You don't know what you're doing. Everything you just explained as an excuse for voting for a disgusting baboon who's a traitor, a con man that with absolutely no redeeming qualities, is a criminal. Everything about him is disgusting. He's a filthy, sociopathic narcissist. has no business being in the halls of power, who only ran for the presidency the second time to escape the consequences of his life of crime, and I guess he's done it, thanks to you. And he's slithered back into the White House on the backs of all the vulnerable and suffering and marginalized communities that you pretend to love or whatever. Like, you have no ill feelings.
No matter your color, I love you no matter how you voted.
Oh, well, guess what? A vote for Harris is a vote for you, too. It was a vote for progress, modernity, freedom, unity, leaving no one behind, education, the economy, you know, all the things you think that the con man and President Musk are going to do for you.
Talk to that way.
I will not be talked to that way. Well, you were talked to that way, and I'm sorry you think like this video is giving you, I don't know, is somehow making it, setting the record straight. All you did was prove yet again that that maggots are irredeemable and literally in a cult built on lies. Everything that they believe is a lie. Think about that. Everything from the fact from Traitor Trump is a great businessman because he played one on reality TV. Till he's a great, he's a family man. He's a Jesus lover who sells the Bible. He's a good family man. He loves his kids. He loves his grandkids. You know, this is a guy that has a picture of himself on as his lock screen on the phone. This is a guy with grandkids. You think he's ever played with his grandkids? Think he's ever taken his grandkids out in the yard and thrown a ball around or whatever? I know, right? Nah. These are sick sociopaths. And this fucking bitch, like, voted for them. Because that's how filthy racist she is. It's in her heart. It's there. She refuses to change. And she could say it's all about Jesus. This is why it's, you know, she loves kids. Everything that she just said is demonstrably false. We just did. I went through it. Facts have a liberal bias. It's incredible. But there you go. Propaganda works. That's living proof. And this is what we're up against. For real. That's why, I don't know. Now's the time to support this show and others like it. Because that's what they have. They own the media. And it's absolutely infuriating having to live in a world where, you know, it's not about, let's have a free exchange of ideas. When one of the parties in that exchange is fucking living on a goddamn cuckoo land that doesn't exist.
Be berated, and I will not be accused of voting for evil because you don't agree for it. I stand for my vote.
I stand for my vote. I will not be accused of voting for evil. Well, you were accused. Not accused. You stand guilty of voting for evil. You stand guilty as charged, lady. I stand by my vote. Click. I wish I could have read the comments, but she turned them off. She turned them off, Junior. What are we going to do? Where's my phone? All right, listen. Where's my phone? Where is my phone? Where's Junior? Oh, it's backwards again. This one. Why does it do that? Oh, here we go. This one's not backwards. All right, guys. We will win. I want to thank you all for hanging out tonight. This is what I'm looking at right now. Well, there's us. This is the computer. This is the show. There's you guys. And there's Tara Jr. Yes, Tara Jr. What are you doing? You okay? He wants me to stop the show. He keeps putting his paw out and telling me to stop. All right. I don't know. What do you want? I fed you. I fed you like 5 times though. I just kept feeding them because they kept harassing me. All right. Listen, guys. Thank you so much. Where's Buddha? She's not around. We will win. Thank you for hanging out. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Stephanie says, Trump pushed his 5-year-old granddaughter aside at the RNC. Oh, man, I didn't see that. That's great. But that says it all. But I guess the maggots would say, he was being playful. What a playful grandfather. Trump, oh yeah, look at this. Trump pushes grandchild off lap. It's somebody's comment video. Whatever. All right, guys, where's my junior? Thank you for hanging out. Thank you all. We will win. We'll have a show during the week. Maybe we'll do another simulcast with Robin. Do you guys like that? I think so. I hope so. I'd like to get Robin to open up the phones, maybe. Get some phone calls happening. Maybe I'll open the phone. I should open the phones. And we will win. All right. We're on the right side of history. Thank you so much. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. Thank you, JD, for your generous donations to the show. You lucky bastard. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat and being a moderator. Thank you, Ed, for your super chat. Thank you, Haiku, for your super chat. Remember, and the patrons. Thank you, all patrons. We will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. My name is Tara Devlin. This is Tara Jr. We stick together. We win. And we will win. We will win. One of these days, we're going to win. I swear it. I swear it. If the Democrats listen to this show, right? For real. And not just, just take the advice. Take the advice. And also, since you're here, since you're still here, that means you're a real Tarabuster, OG Tarabuster. So I have a task for you. If you call up any other liberal talk shows, plug this show. Say, you should get Tara Devlin on the show, or Tarabuster. Oh, the other thing, I just remembered. I'm going to be on DC Report, or Deadline DC with Brad Bannon on Monday at 3 o'clock. I'll post it. I'll post an update. All right. We always have a good conversation. DC Report. No. Deadline DC. Why do I keep saying DC Report? Deadline DC with Brad Bannon. And yeah, go. If you do that, call up other shows and say something about Tarabuster, and then you let me know about it. I'll send you a mug. How's that? Won't that be funny? But do it nice and respectful. Like, hey, Tara said this, Tara said that. You should get her on the show. I'm just trying to plug the show, and I can't do it all alone. I don't know. Gotta be a squeaky wheel. All right. If you feel like it. And then tell me about it or send me a clip or something, and I'll send you a mug. What do you think? Or something from the Tarabuster merch store, I think. But be nice. Be nice about it. All right. Is that too pushy? I just thought maybe get my name out there, get the word out there. Get to work on a promo, exactly. All right, my friends. I gotta go. What time is it? I need to get unconscious. I've had enough of consciousness for an evening, for a day. We got more coming up. Lots of shit to deal with, so gotta get rest. Be good. I love you. And I'll see you very soon.